Oh, yeah. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. What's going on? I'm Mistress Carrie. Thank you for joining me each and every Tuesday night live here in my war room. I want to thank Latini Creative Solutions at Latini Creative. Yeah, thank you, Wednesday. At latinicreative.com and Jumptown Skydiving at jumptown.com for sponsoring this week's episode of Cocktails in the War Room, and also this week's episode of the Mistress Carrie Podcast. I got to fix the microphone that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show. I literally had everything ready to go, and then I forgot to plug the microphone in. About 10 seconds before we went live, I was like, why is my microphone not working? And it's because I didn't plug it in. Let me introduce you to my co-host, as always. If you're new to Cocktails in the War Room, we have a co-host because it started on March 14th at the beginning of the lockdown. And well, nobody else was able to come in the house to hang out with me except my trusty pug Wednesday that you can follow on Instagram at Wednesday, the Goth Pug. This has proven to be one of her new favorite toys that we opened last week in the War Room. So trust that all of the toys that you guys have been sending Wednesday, not only is she getting them, but she loves them and plays with them all. And yes, the ducking stingray is here. I always like to make your animals go crazy by squeaking a bunch of Wednesday's toys. So while she still has energy, I'll have Wednesday here with the PUG CAM on so that you guys can say hi. Because as we have learned from many previous episodes of the War Room, she's going to have about 5 or 10 minutes worth of energy, and then she's going to pass the fuck out on the couch. She seems to be a little tired already. I don't know if it's all the running around she's been doing in the yard. Yes, the ducking stingray is back, David. Absolutely. I sent that, says Doreen. Well, thank you very much, Doreen, because she loves it. Yes, the fucking stingray, Paula. And then also with the first blueberry cobbler mention of the night, where's the penis pig? The penis pig is somewhere in the house. I feel really bad for people that are going to be late getting into Cocktails in the War Room. We're going to have to publish some kind of a dictionary or just a guide to the slang and the short code that we have here in the War Room with. Thanks for the squeak. You're welcome, Kathy. Because there's so many inside jokes and so many mentions now of things that people may or may not have an idea of what the hell we're talking about. It's a good thing that all of the Cocktails in the War Room videos are available not only on this Facebook page, but we have also, since we went to a weekly show back when Mike Shue joined us here in the War Room, all of those videos for every episode of Cocktails in the War Room. A dictionary. Oh, Eric, you are so smart. Yes, it's a dictionary. Absolutely. How could we call it anything else? The Cocktails in the War Room Dictionary. Eric, just chisel it in granite. It's happening. I don't know exactly how we're going to make it happen, but it 100% has to be called that. You're a freaking genius. Love the purple toy, says Lisa. So yeah, there's a whole list of things that people just aren't going to know about unless we come up with the dictionary. Yeah, bag of dicks, Wendy, exactly. The acronyms of Cocktails in the War Room, says Paula. Exactly. Mike fucking Shue, says Eric. I got to tell you, let me turn the PUG CAM off for a second so I can look at you. Ow, she's biting my hand. So I can look at you guys for a second. The Mike Shue episode of the Mistress Carrie Podcast is outperforming a lot of the rock stars that we've had on the podcast so far. So many people downloading the Mike Shue episode, and we got to have him on more often, I think. I mean, we got to make it like a quarterly thing or something. Wednesday just took off. As soon as I turn the PUG CAM off, she's like, bitch, please. So how are you guys? I want to warn you guys right now. It's a limoncello night. Just thought I'd tell you. I just pulled this out of the freezer 5 minutes ago while I was forgetting to plug in my microphone. And I don't know why. I'm having a little bit of a limoncello craving tonight. So cheers to you guys. Don't forget the Cheez-Its, he says. Yes, exactly. Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Can you guys hear all the crickets outside? I have all the windows open. And that's why my hair is crazy, because it's hot as fuck in here. She's mad you turned her camera off, says Donna. Yeah, exactly. That was the best shoe and carry, says Chris. Tired and beat, says Joe, meaning that's how he is today. Slancha Scott, I'm doing all right. I have gone back to college, says Amanda. So how are you guys handling the first week of school with the kids? Are the kids home? Are they going halfway? Are they at school trying to get their masks to stay on all day? I have seen so many back to school pictures from all of my friends on Facebook. And some of them are like, back to school in our kitchen. And then I went today to the post office to check the mail and to do a bunch of other stuff. And I saw a bunch of kids at some of the private schools in their uniforms with their masks on and stuff. So are the kids back in school? And yes, the honeymoon is going great, Jonathan. We actually have a lot to talk about tonight. So Michael says they're hybrid. Mike needs to be the co-host of the podcast. Listen, Bish, it's the Mistress Carrie Podcast. He can't be the co-host, but he can come on as much as he wants. He's got his podcast too, Long May You Young, that he's got every week. And if you are a music historian, if you love Neil Young, that podcast is something you definitely have to check out. Everybody that's checked it out so far since Mike was on the podcast has said they listened to it and loved it. If you're a music nerd, you're going to love it because they talk a lot about, the inspiration behind the tracks. Of course, they do it while they're sitting around drinking beer, but Worcester hasn't started yet. Going back to work tomorrow, new job. Congratulations to you, Michelle. We'll drink to you. Let's see. Love my students, she says. My kid has been back at daycare and school since the end of July. Still nerve-wracking, says Hilda. Kids are home, learning remote till early November, says Mickey. Which, by the way, my friend Mickey, we realized it was 30 years ago this weekend, Labor Day weekend, that we met when we moved into the dorms together when we started college. I can't believe that I've known Mickey that long. So what's up, Mickey? Joe says, please say hi to me. What's up, Joe? Same here, says Eric. My birthday was Sunday. Happy birthday, Danielle. Not a Neil Young fan, but definitely a Mike Shue fan, so I'm going to give it a listen. Michael, I think you're going to really like it. Let's see. Had my first day of 10th grade today in Virginia. What's going on? Anne, thank you for joining us here in the War Room. One other big hello that I got to put out there is I want to say hello to my new family. And I don't mean you guys in the War Room. I don't mean the War Room family. I mean my legally bound new family that I married into, most of which I have not met yet. So can you guys just imagine finding out about the new member of your family like this? So yeah, I want to say what's up to all of my new family that's either in California or in North Carolina or in Wisconsin. I'm married into an amazing family and I can't wait to meet all of you guys officially. But I just wanted to say hi to all of them because I know some of them are watching in the War Room. Frank wants to know where the Mike Shue episode of the podcast is. I will show you that right now. If you want to find the Mistress Carrie podcast, here's where you can find it. It's on Apple, Google, Spotify, radio.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, Overcast, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pocket Cast, and Pandora. So go back and find the Mike Shue episode. It's a few episodes back. I believe he was episode 12, I think, or 11. I can't remember, but go find it's right there. You can't miss it. Or that link, mistresscarriepodcast.simplecast.com will take you right to it. But wherever you listen to podcasts, just search the Mistress Carrie Podcast and you'll find it. So we have a lot to talk about. I got good news. I got a little bit of bad news, but there's a lot to talk about. The first thing that I want to talk about is the podcast recap with Seether. Episode 12 of the Mistress Carrie podcast featured the guys from Seether. And I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about that episode. Let me make this picture smaller. It's cutting my face off. So what did you guys think of the episode? Did you realize anything new? A lot of people commented and said, I never knew that those guys are from South Africa, which I thought was normal information that everybody knew. Yes, Mike Shue was 12, says Mike and Becky. So episode 13 was Seether, and hey, I want to say what's up to all the goat girls. They know who they are in Wisconsin if they're watching right now. So I want to say hi to all of my new family in Wisconsin. Love the Seether episode, says Danielle. Let's see. I loved the accent, says Lisa. It was so funny. A new camper at our camp in Maine was asking about WAF this weekend. Well, that's one of the things that I'm always going to ask you guys to do. It's so crazy to me that there are so many AAFers out there that don't know about my podcast yet. And it just goes to show how interrupted everybody's lives are because of the coronavirus, that they're either not commuting like they used to, so they're not listening to the radio, or they're not online the same way they used to be because maybe they're not at work kind of goofing off on the internet as much because they're working from home. And if they're not working, they're away from their computers, teaching their kids or dealing with the dog or doing housework, whatever it is. But there are so many AAFers out there that are still, hey, Kevin. That's the manager of Jumptown that's checking in on Cocktails in the War Room. So what's up, Kevin? There are still so many AAFers out there that don't know about the podcast. So what I'll ask you guys to do is continue doing what you're doing, which is when you get into conversations with people about music or bands or people from out of state or whatever that are like, hey, what's going on? If the radio station comes up, or say you get into a conversation about Seether, you can say, oh, they were on the Mistress Carrie podcast. You know, she has a podcast. You guys are the best way for me to grow this podcast, and I'm really proud of it. And the fact that Jamie says, where's the pug? She was already here, Jamie. The fact that you guys have been here through the whole thing with me from the start of the War Room and on. Linda says, sorry, I'm late. Don't worry about it, Linda. You guys are my best ambassadors. And so I am going to, oh, you filled them in, Jen? Thank you very much. You're doing exactly what I was hoping you would do, is to let people know that the podcast is out there and that the bands still want to talk to you guys. I mean, it's one of the things that comes up week after week in the podcast is that a lot of these bands don't have an outlet anymore. There's classic rock stations in Boston that are doing extremely well. ZLX, BOS, all of those stations are doing really well in the ratings, but they're classic rock stations. So by definition, they don't play a lot of new music. And so, or any new music, I should say. So a lot of these bands that are working hard during COVID to come up with new music, they don't have a place to have it played in Boston and most of New England. So a lot of the ways that people are going to find out about their new music and about their tours, which hopefully will get scheduled for next year, or the live streaming events that they're doing online, is from podcasts and from things like the War Room. So I shared your podcast with my coworkers. Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate that. What is the country count at? Jared wants to know. Actually, we have remained stagnant at 80. So we got to I'm going to take my headphones off because it's so freaking hot in here. You guys let me know if all of a sudden you can't hear me anymore because I don't have my headphones on because my head is sweating. So we're frozen at 80 countries right now. So keep getting the word out, and hopefully we'll get this country count up. Joe says new classic rock. Yeah, well, new classic rock is like the 90s music. Oh my God, look at my head. Those headphones. Yeah, the new classic rock is like all of the 90s stuff. I'm going to pour myself some more limoncello if you guys don't mind. So there aren't places to hear like brand new music or stuff that's come out since, I think, 2000. The definition of classic rock kind of, matches up with the qualifications for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is 25 years from the date of your first release. So anything that is 25 years or older meets the definition of classic rock. Anything newer than 25 years, I know. I like a sweaty head, says Keith. Cheers to you, you pervert. So I love you. So there's really no place for these bands to have their music played. And so the ways that people are going to find out about it is through doing stuff like what we're doing right now. So let's see. Did you get any awesome wedding gifts? Heidi wants to know. I got a lot of booze, or I should say we got a lot of booze. I have to get into the habit of using the we instead of the I, which has been really interesting. I know that I know that there are some people, especially maybe some of the guys, that are like, we know you got married. But I'm in the honeymoon phase still. I mean, technically in my honeymoon, and I'm spending it with you guys. So yeah, so the wedding's gonna come up from time to time. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys some more pictures because our wedding photographer, Chuck at C3L Photography, sent me the proofs of the pictures. I can only show you guys a few, but I wanted to show you guys a few of the pictures that I got from the official photographer. The ones I showed you guys last week were just ones people took with their cell phones. So here are some of the pictures that we got from the photographer. There you go. Which I love. The motorcycle picture is absolutely hilarious. I got on the bike in my wedding dress. Why wouldn't I? Of course. Let me see here. I'll show you guys some more of the pictures. Wednesday, that's how dressed up she was. It was really warm and humid that day, so I didn't want to make her wear clothes, even though I did buy her a sparkly tutu, but I didn't want to make her wear it. But I love that picture of Wednesday. And then the bride got caught knocking back a Down East apple cider. And I love that picture as well. And then these are some of the other pictures that Chuck got. Me, like kind of the traditional wedding bride pose. And then I thought that picture of my motorcycle tank was really cool because it poured and my bike was outside, and it's probably the cleanest my bike is going to be for a while. So I thought, even all these years later, and even after the accident, the paint job that the guys at Crazy Customs and Thin Air Graphics did on my motorcycle, it still looks amazing. So I love showing off the broom, as it is called by my friends, which is what the witch rides. So there you go. Hair looks the bomb, says Eric. Thank you very much. Love the black dress, says Heidi. The black dress was a great idea until it got really hot in August in New England, and I was wearing full length, long sleeve black velvet outside. Probably not the best life choice I had, which is why my hair is a mess in a lot of the pictures, because I was a sweaty mess, kind of like how I am now. Paint job is amazing, says Amanda. Yeah, they did an unbelievable job. Does Brent know that I got married? Yes, he does know that I got married. He sent some congratulations my way, as did Corey Taylor and a few other people saying congratulations. And the Seether guys as well, because it was right after the wedding that I talked to the Seether guys for episode 13 of the podcast. So they were talking about the wedding and me being on the honeymoon and stuff. So let's see. What's up, Donna Lee? Can we just send some love to Donna Lee, who just lost her soulmate, Michael Downing, who is a hero in the veterans community in New England, and just not easy to give him the send-off that he deserved because of the coronavirus. He did get an amazing send-off from so many of the bikers in the veteran and biker community in New England. But Donna Lee, just know everybody here in the war room is sending you so much love, and that we're all here if you need anything. And Michael was an inspiration, not only for his service, but also for the life that he led after he got out of the military. And he never let anything get in his way. And it was always such a pleasure to see you guys at the motorcycle rides that we did together. And his loss is being felt by everyone because he was just such an amazing guy. And for anybody that doesn't know who Michael Downing was, please look him up. He's just a local pillar of the veterans community and a local hero to so many people. And he passed away recently. And I know that there are just so many people that are just still in mourning. And of course, his lovely wife, Donna Lee, who's joining us here in the War Room. So sending, to have the War Room sending you all the love. I hope you can feel it because we love you. So thank you so much for all of the love on the pictures. I thought you guys would like to see some of them. Oh my God, thank you so much. Donna Lee, you're so welcome. It's one of the themes that has come up in the War Room since March when this all started. I lost my Uncle Mike, and it was very strange to try and mourn properly. One of my childhood friends, Bobby, lost his mom recently, and I went to the wake, and they couldn't hug the people that were coming by the receiving line, and everybody had masks on, and they had to limit the number of people in the funeral home. And it's so hard to properly mourn right now. And whether your loved ones are passing away because of natural causes or illness, or, heaven forbid, it's something COVID related. However, your loss, human beings require closure, and they require a certain amount of tradition and tribute when it comes to death. No one has the answer as to what happens after this life. There are, of course, 2,000 theories, 2,000 recognized religions on the planet, but nobody really knows. Although if you talk to someone like Tommy Vext from Bad Wolves, who died and was brought back to life, and I asked him in one of those early episodes, I believe he's episode 3 of the podcast, I asked him what it was like for him. He's someone that I trust more than any preacher as far as what's happening in the afterlife, because he's actually been there. He was declared dead by doctors and came back. But none of us really know what's waiting for us wherever we're going, if we go anywhere. And so there's a certain amount of closure that's required for the people that are here. Not only because we all need it, but because the loved one that we just lost lived a life that was worth celebrating. And it's so hard to celebrate a loved one's life properly right now. And I don't know what the long-term effects of the lack of celebration of that life is going to be like because of the coronavirus. So Terrence says, my dad was a near death and came back. There's so many people that have had that experience. And it's like, I trust their experience more than almost anything because they were there in whatever they think. Scientists say that it could be lack of oxygen to the brain. They say it could be the narcotics. Nobody knows. And so it's just important for us to be able to take a minute and be able to grieve properly. And grieving right now is really hard. And recently I went to the wake of a veteran that died by suicide. And we're having that problem too right now. And so this isolation and this lack of grieving and mourning properly is also leading to mental health issues that we have talked about. I can't even count how many times in the almost 100 episodes of the War Room that we've done about how important it is for us to do everything that we can to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves before we can take care of anyone else, and to really make our own mental health a priority, and to make sure that the mental health of those around us is just as important as the physical health. It's like everyone's wearing masks, which is a physical manifestation of that caring about someone else's physical well-being. We have to have that same care and attention for their mental health too. Will says time for a shot. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Because we're talking about heavy stuff. So Will, let me. Diva says, my grandpa said that he could feel the sadness that he had to come back. That's why it's just so important for us to savor every moment. And which is why I'm always thanking you guys for all of your love and support, and how grateful I am that you guys are here and that we get together every week, and that I know you guys are with me on this journey, and that you guys know that the War Room is a place where you can come when you're having a hard time with something, and that you are going to be surrounded by love and support, and that we're all going to be here for you to lean on. So thank you guys. Yes, I will pour another drink. Thank you guys for joining me every week, because it means a lot. And I hope that you guys are getting as much out of the War Room as I do every week, because I look forward to it all week long. And you guys have definitely helped me over the last 7 months. And it's been nice to celebrate happy things. And it's been nice to have a place that I could come to when I'm sad, and know that there's going to be people there for me. Eric says we stand together, we fall together. Exactly. Every day is a gift, says Tom. John says, I'm glad I can finally access this. John, you can come in the War Room anytime, every Tuesday. Wednesday, where are you going? You want to come back? I'll turn the camera back on. And she fucking turned around. Here she comes. What a little shit. I really think she knows when it's time for her to go on camera. You guys have created a monster. Not even kidding. She just listened to me, and here she is. Will you say hi to everyone? Everybody said you looked beautiful at the wedding. Right? She's kind of mellow right now. She doesn't even want to tell you how mad she was yesterday when I cut her nails. I tried to explain to her how much money I spend when I go and get a manicure, but she wasn't having it. Right? Are you going to hang out with us for a while? Seriously, it's the most spoiled dog on the internet. Where's her pillow twin? Keith, the pillow twin of Wednesday that we got in the mail call last week is actually on the couch in the other room. And it's hilarious when I walk in the room, because I see it and I'm like, oh my God, there's Wednesday. It's amazing. Limoncello must be a bad day. Actually, Christina, no, it's just so warm. And I just was craving some limoncello. It's just a summer thing. So no, I did not have a bad day. You called her, so she came back. So cute, says Paula. I know. It's right. Don't nibble on my fingers. Sit down. She's trying to push all the pillows off again. Sit down so you can hang out with us. Okay. This is what she just wants to nibble on my fingers. I know if there's people that are dog trainers out there, I know that it's bad because she nibbles on my fingers. She's not biting hard, but it's probably a bad habit for her. No, you can't do that. Whose bike were you sitting on? Judy, that was my bike. Judy. That is my motorcycle. That's the paint job on the tank. Oh. And that's the picture right there. That's my bike right there. Come on now, Judy. You know this. Okay, we got to talk about some serious stuff. Before we get to the podcast announcement for this week and we get to the mail call and a bunch of other stuff, next week, things are going to change up a little bit temporarily. We've been talking a lot about being here for each other in times of good and bad. And so I need to talk to you guys about next week's War Room. I apologize in advance. Next week, Cocktails in the War Room is not going to be on Tuesday. I told you guys way back in the day when this became a weekly thing that I reserve the right from time to time to move things around. And next week, Cocktails in the War Room is going to be on Wednesday, and it will be a special Wednesday episode. I am going to try and talk about this without getting upset because I'm going to need you guys in the next few weeks. Between now and next Wednesday, when we get together again, I have to travel again. And this trip will be a trip that I have known I was going to need to make. Everybody that has the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass knows what I'm talking about already. But I have known for about 7 months now that my now husband was going to be deploying again. And I found out the same week when he was just my boyfriend that he was going to be deploying in September, the same week that AAF went off the air. So that was a real shit week. And between now and when I get together with you guys again next Wednesday, I have to travel to go and say bye to him. As of right now, he is going to be deployed for 12 months. There's a possibility that it could be longer. I'm really not sure. I can't really talk too much about the nature of where he's going and what he's doing, other than to say he has been on previous deployments where I worried more about his safety. So I'm hoping will not be in harm's way at any point, but he's going to be pretty far away. And for anybody that has ever had anyone that they love deployed, the time change is hard. And he's going to be gone for a really long time. And I cannot get back here in time to do the war room on Tuesday. I had contemplated doing the war room remotely, but that's not going to be possible where I'm going to be. So I got to push the war room back next week by a day. I'm not pushing the podcast back, which means that next week's podcast is going to go live at midnight on Wednesday, like it always does. But we won't have Cocktails in the War Room to be able to make the announcement about who's going to be on it. So tonight, I'm going to tell you who's on this week's episode and who's on next week's episode as well, so that you guys, so that they can both have an announcement. But don't apologize for prioritizing, says Kim. Thank you very much. Totally understand. You do you, kids, says Will. We got your back, girls, says Wendy. We'll be here for you when you get back, says Sarah. Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of people that know what it's like to have a loved one away. My husband has been he's been deployed multiple times since he and I got together, and even more times before he and I were together. And so this is not a new thing, and it's something I've been preparing for and something I knew was going to happen. But Keith says, what? No cocktails? I call BS. Keith, there's going to be a Cocktails in the War Room. It's just going to be on Wednesday. You could call BS all you want, but it's going to be on Wednesday. But it's something that I've known was going to happen, but it was like for far away, it was like, oh, I got months to get ready for it or whatever. And now it's kind of here, and I've been dreading talking about it. Does it feel weird saying husband? Yeah, it feels really fucking weird saying husband. Mickey Rossi says, I can sub for you. I might not. Mickey, I don't think you want to take on the war room, but wow, I get kicked out not getting notifications about this anymore, says William. I don't know why you're not getting the notifications, but anyway, it's something I've known was going to happen, and I'm going to be able to communicate with him. I mean, look, there's a lot of people that have had it worse than how I'm going to have it, but just having him away for that long a period of time and with a time change that just makes communication a little more cumbersome. And especially just with everything going on with the coronavirus and being a newlywed, you want to have your partner around, and that's not going to be here, or he's not going to be here to be able to make that possible. But like we always talk about, whether it was on my show or here in the war room, there are people that need to do these jobs, and it's something I couldn't be prouder of him for. And everyone that is a veteran, everyone that's in the military, all of the military families, all the spouses, all the kids, the parents, this is not exclusive to me by any stretch of the imagination. And so it just sucks. But I'm super proud of him. And I know everything's going to be fine. It's just a new normal for a short period of time in the grand scheme of things. But I just wanted to fill you guys in on what was going on. So first of all, you need to fill in like you had at AAF, says Jonathan. Hell no, the War Room is my baby, and nobody's hosting the War Room but me, baby. Wednesday might try, but it ain't going to happen. Lisa, I will definitely thank him for his service for you. Will he come home to a mini Carrie? What do you mean a mini Carrie? Hang in there, elbow bump. I appreciate that, Thomas. Did you have a bachelorette party? No, I didn't. I got engaged and I got married 9 days later. No, there was no bachelor party. There was no bridal shower. There was no rehearsal dinner. There was none of that. My boss's son is in the Navy, says William. It's just the reality of it. So I appreciate all of the support and the love from you guys. I just wanted to clue you in on what was going on and to let you know that we're going to be a day delayed next week. So that means, thank you, Jamie. I'm sure he would love the red leg hockey t-shirt. Jamie is one of my AAF to Afghanistan guys, which brings me into talking about the podcast. So thank you for the segue, Jamie. Okay. So that means we have not one, but 2 podcast episode announcements to make. The first podcast guest announcement is for this week's podcast episode, which goes live at midnight tonight. And this episode is so much fun. Wait till you guys hear it. On episode 14 of the Mistress Carrie Podcast, Evanescence. This week, it's a little bit different in that it's a 2-part episode. It's Evanescence all the way through, but because Evanescence is literally in the middle of recording their new album, I had to record interviews with band members separately because they're all literally recording. So the first half of the episode is just me and Amy Lee talking about everything from the inspiration behind the music to what it's like, parenting during the coronavirus with a little kid at home. We talked about so much stuff. She was in Nashville at home working on the record, and she's amazing. And then the second part of the episode is Troy McClawhorn and Will Hunt from Evanescence, who I have known for 25 years and counting. Will Hunt was in the band called Scrape from the mid to late 90s that you guys remember. He also played drums for Tommy Lee. He's in Dark New Day. Obviously has been in Evanescence for 12 or 13 years now. And then Troy McClawhorn was in a band called MK Ultra before they got their record deal way back. I'm talking 21 years ago. And then was in the band called Double Drive. He played on the Seven Dust Home record, which we talked about in the podcast episode that was recorded here in Massachusetts. He's also in Dark New Day and in Evanescence as well. And so the first part of the episode is Amy Lee. And the second part of the episode is a little bit more of a throwback interview with Will Hunt and Troy McClawhorn. And it is fun. You guys are going to learn the definitions of the terms booty bongos and dude booty bongos. Amy Lee is crazy beautiful, says Eric. Amy Lee does some awesome karaoke, says Amanda. Yes, she does. What's her new album? Well, that's the thing. They have some new songs. The new record's not out yet. And we talk a lot about how they are recording this album differently than other albums that they've done in the past. They're not just releasing a song and then putting out the full record. Each song on this album is getting its own release. They don't even have a release date for the full record yet. Amy Lee's literally still recording the vocals. and took time out of the recording session of the album to do this interview. And we talk a lot about it. Amy Lee's duet with Hailstorm, there's a lot of stuff in this episode. I think you guys are going to really love it. So that is the episode that goes live tonight at midnight. I'm super proud of this episode. It's really fun. Booty bongos, exactly. If you listen to my show in the late 90s and early 2000s, you may have heard the booty bongos live on the air, but it has never been played since. I got to find the audio. But me and Will and Troy talk about the booty bongos in this episode, taking an indie approach to the album, says Timothy. And it wasn't exactly by design, Timothy. It's kind of the way the coronavirus is dictating how they release this record. Their guitar player is German and lives in Germany, and she's stuck there because of the coronavirus and hasn't been able to get back here. So they're recording a lot of this record remotely because she can't get here to cut her guitar tracks in the United States. Frank says, Amy Lee, my favorite singer. I think you guys are going to really love this interview with her. She's super relaxed. She's really candid. She talks a lot about just inspiration, and it comes up in both halves of the episode. I think a lot of people think Evanescence is Amy Lee, but it's not. The rest of the band has such a creative influence over the music, and the creative process of the way the band kind of writes and records really. Krista says, the fuck booty bongos. I'll be over here hiding in my corner now. Krista, when you listen to this episode, you will know why we're talking about booty bongos. And it's pretty funny. But the booty bongos happened live on WAF. So you don't need to cower in the corner too much. But it's pretty funny because it was one of the first memories that I have of Will Hunt. And he was like, I knew you were going to bring that up, Carrie. So I think you guys are just going to really love this episode. It's really candid. The guys had a lot of fun. Troy is in Atlanta and Will is down in Florida on the beach. He actually showed me the view from his camera phone, and he was literally on the beach and was surfing, and then was like, oh shit, I got to go talk to Mistress Carrie, and came in and was knocking back some beers before he went out to go surfing again. So I had to bring those guys in remotely. And the same thing with Amy Lee. She's in Nashville where she lives right now. David, just smack that booty till you get the right sound. David, you don't know how close to reality you actually are. Killer talented group, says Ron. Booty, 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 booty bongos, said Steven. Were the booty bongos when you were in Westboro? No, the booty bongos were on Guest Street. So that was post 2000. But definitely, I think maybe 2001, 2002 at the most. It's like her voice hasn't changed in almost 20 years, says Timothy. Exactly. And she's just so sweet and generous with her time. And she was just super relaxed and just kind of hanging out and talking about being a mom and talking about how much she loves her band and the creative process. And she really kind of let her guard down and was just kind of chilling out. We talked about a lot of stuff, including, being women in rock for a long time. And it was really interesting to hear Troy and Will's perspective on what they've seen Amy go through in rock as a woman. And I think that this band is more tight now than they've ever been. And when you hear the excitement about the new music that they are working on together, it's kind of hard not to get excited for them because they are just so jacked up about the new music that they're creating. The Will Troy part of the interview is super funny. Just because I've known them for so long, we go back so far. And let me tell you what, the playlist for this episode is so fucking good. You guys are going to love it. So if you didn't know, every episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast, when you look in the description of every podcast episode, there's a link to a Spotify playlist. So when you're listening to these interviews, whatever music or whatever artists get mentioned, I pull songs from those artists, from those records, those songs that get talked about, and I put them in a playlist for you. So maybe it could turn you on to some music you didn't know about, like maybe some of their early projects, or maybe it'll remind you about some music you loved that you kind of forgot about. But the podcast, this podcast episode's playlist is awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I can't wait. One episode in 2 parts. We did another episode like that. Episode 2 of the podcast was like that. I did one interview and then put another interview after it. So I talked to Amy, just her and I, for a while. And then I talked to Will and Troy for a while, but we weren't all together. So it's one episode, but in 2 parts. And when you listen to it, you'll understand. I think episode 2 was like that. I think Corey Taylor was episode number 2, but then Zach Myers from Shinedown had called me that week and I wanted to put him on episode 2. So it was just 2 distinctly different interviews, but all in the same episode. And so that's what this episode is, except both interviews are members of the same band. How long is this podcast? I think it's like an hour and a half. So you may want to listen to it in parts, but it's great. So just don't miss it. If you're an Evanescence fan, I think you're really going to love it. Yes, I remember podcast 2, says Amy. Oh, I get it. Derp, says Amanda. Don't worry about it. We're all getting used to this new reality now. You know what I mean? But I think that you guys are if you're an Evanescence fan, I think you're going to think it's great. And even if you're not an Evanescence fan, I would definitely check it out anyway, especially for some of the old stories that came out during the Will and Troy part of this episode, because we went way back. Have to run. Great visit with your hubby, Carrie. See you when you get back. Kim, I'll see you next Wednesday night. I will be back in the War Room next Wednesday. So that is episode 14. Now, normally we would wait until the War Room next week to talk about who was on episode 15. But episode 15 is going to go live on Wednesday before we have a chance to sit down. So I wanted to talk to you guys about who's on the next episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast as well. And I think you guys are going to love this one too. Episode 15 of the Mistress Carrie podcast is an AAF to Afghanistan recap. Now, 9 years ago today, I was in Afghanistan. And producer Mike, who is always here in the War Room with us, that's him in the picture with me and General Hammond. Mike was there in Afghanistan with me. And in the early days of Cocktails in the War Room, I told you guys a lot of stories about Afghanistan, including the blueberry cobbler story. So I thought to commemorate the 9-year anniversary of my trip to Afghanistan, that it would be great if Mike and I sat down and talked about our memories of Afghanistan together, so that you guys could hear his perspective on things. And so I will warn you that episode 15 is long. We talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of really funny stuff and some really serious emotional stuff. And I'm really proud of this episode. Mike and I didn't know each other very well before we went to Afghanistan together. And we are such good friends now. And we're texting and messaging. He was at the wedding. He is just someone whose friendship and love I cherish. And I can't wait for you guys to get to know him. And also to hear... I can't wait for you guys to hear his side of things, his side of the blueberry cobbler story, his side of a lot of the stories. And it was really cool 9 years later, going back down memory lane with him. Now, he has also promised to do an after action report with me and to come into the War Room. So you can expect that in the coming weeks of the War Room as well. Des from Devil Driver has also promised me that he is going to be coming in sooner than later to do an after action report in the War Room. And yes, we're going to have the slumber party with Danielle here in the War Room as well. So there's a lot of great stuff coming. What episode is this of the War Room? I think this is 96. I know episode 100 is slated to take place on Tuesday, October 13th, if my count is correct, which we're going to have to do something amazing to commemorate the 100th episode of Cocktails in the War Room. Oh boy, his side of the blueberry cobbler story. Maybe I should stay in this corner, says Krista. No. It's a really fun episode, but it's also an episode that I hope that all of the guys we were embedded with hear, because it means a lot. And so that episode is next week. So just to clarify, the episode that goes live at midnight tonight is Evanescence. The episode that goes live next Wednesday is the AAF to Afghanistan recap with producer Mike. And they're both awesome. Both different, but both awesome. Once again, this is where you can check out the Mistress Carrie podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't miss an episode. I will tell you that there is a lot of great new stuff coming. I have been trying to move things forward at a manageable pace while also being able to maintain a little bit of my own personal life, which I knew was going to change dramatically because of my husband's deployment. But once he deploys, I am going to be looking for any and all distractions, which means I'm going to be diving headfirst into a lot of the new projects that I have been waiting to dive into. So subscribing to the podcast will make sure you don't miss any of the new things that are coming in the coming weeks. And these are all of the places that are already part of the Mistress Carrie podcast family, and it's growing. So keep spreading the word. Can't wait till the pajama party, says Joe. We got you on or off the air, Carrie. Remember that, says Steven. I appreciate that. 100th episode hoodies, says Debbie. There's definitely Cocktails in the War Room stuff coming in the online store. And I am hard at work working on that stuff. And launching the website and the online store is number one on my priority list when I get back from this little mini vacation. All right, let's talk about some music headlines because there's a lot of stuff going on in music, even though the bands aren't touring. Lamb of God has 2 live streams that they have scheduled. They are going to be on September 18th and September 25th. You can get all of the details at watch.lamb/of/god.com. So if you're a Lamb of God fan, they're going to be playing albums in their entirety. So go to that website and get your tickets for the live Lamb of God live streams. Geddy Lee wants everybody to know that he's not dead. It started trending on Twitter that Geddy Lee was dead, but he's not. So he took to Rush's social media platforms to make sure that everybody knows that he's not dead. So Geddy Lee's not dead. Thank you, Michael, for putting up the link to the podcast in the comments, by the way. I appreciate that. Nigeria and Kenya, beware of scammers, says Steven. There's no prince asking me to send him $1,000. Don't worry about it. I'm not sending anybody money. I had to plug your podcast at the end of my podcast. Well, I appreciate that, Terrence. Thank you very much for the love. Jen says, I need my hoodie. They are coming. Music headlines. Yeah, we got a ton of music news. So Geddy Lee's not dead. R. Kelly's appeal to be released from prison was denied. So he's staying in jail. We got the best news we've had for all of 2020 so far. Kim Kardashian announced today on her social media pages that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally coming to a close after 14 years and 20 seasons. That piece of shit fucking show is finally going to be gone. So hopefully we'll be exposed to less of the Kardashians and more of real people that deserve our attention. And Papa Roach is working on a new record, hard at work on new music, which is awesome. More headlines include Ozzy, who has a new Funko Pop figurine that is coming very soon. Metallica's S&M 2 album debuted at number 4 on the album charts. Lars says there's, quote, lots of material to share with the world. So, let me move the limoncello out of the way. Move the shot glass out of the way. Before the grammar police get me. I had to close the quotes on that. So Lars, it sounds like there's a new Metallica record coming. I don't know when, but it seems like they've got nothing else to do, so they're working on new music, which is awesome. Oh, John says, in a world of Kardashians, be a Mistress Carrie. That's like the nicest thing people have said to me all day. That is awesome. Barbara says 20 friggin' seasons. I've not seen a show. Well, there you go, Barbara. Exactly. The Rolling Stones have announced that they are launching a permanent brick and mortar store in London that is going to be filled with Rolling Stones memorabilia. And Rob Halford says that he is working on a solo blues record, which is going to be very interesting. Penny says the Aussie bio was so good. Thank God I never watched one episode, says Linda. You just went near Australian? What do you mean, Mark? How dare you miss a quote, says Michael. I know. Thanks for sharing the news I needed to hear, says Steven. That show gets under my friggin' skin, says Jen. I just picked up a Marilyn Manson Funko Pop, says Will. I got an Angus Young AC/DC one down in MCHQ, and someone also sent me a Carrie one, like a Stephen King Carrie in the prom dress covered in blood, which is awesome. Too bad we can't go to the UK without a 14-day quarantine. I know. Actually, part of what's such a bummer, which is why, to go back to why Cocktails in the War Room is going to be on Wednesday next week, there was a glimmer of hope that I was going to be able to visit my husband during his deployment. Either him taking leave time or me actually visiting him. And because of the coronavirus, that's not looking really good right now. So while I was hoping that I was going to be able to go and kind of meet up with him in some places if he was able to take some leave time, because there's so many travel restrictions, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So that's why this goodbye is so important, which again is why Cocktails in the War Room is going to be next Wednesday. All right, let's get to your birthdays, because if today's your birthday, there's a lot of people celebrating birthdays with you. Patsy Cline was born today. Ben Orr from the Cars was born today. Amy Mann, Pink, Wiz Khalifa, and Jay Weinberg, the drummer from Slipknot, all celebrating birthdays today. So if today is your birthday, cheers to you. I love limoncello days and Cocktails in the War Room. It's good stuff. All right, I want to make sure that I am saying thank you to all of the people that have gotten themselves a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass in the last week. So I want to thank Kathleen, Janine, Carol, Paula, Julie, Kathy, Melanie, Jeff, Mark, Tom, Eric, Jeff, and Amanda, who have all gotten themselves a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, which you can get at patreon.com/Mistress Carrie. You get access to exclusive photos, exclusive blogs, polls. I'm posting up there every day. And soon you will be able to get discounted merchandise in the Mistress Carrie online store. And there's a lot of plans, not only for the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, but for Cocktails in the War Room, for the podcast, for the website. And so the people with the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass are always going to get advance notice on things. The only thing I don't tell them ahead of time is who's going to be on the podcast, because loose lips sink ships. It's up there. So that's the only thing I don't tell everybody, just because I always want you guys to find out together here in the War Room. And I thought that should be like a War Room thing, is that you guys always hear about the podcast first. We've been together too long and almost 100 episodes later. And so I just always want to be able to talk about the podcast first here in the War Room. But the people that have the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, they get inside behind the scenes looks at a lot of stuff, including my wedding. And of course, just whatever's going on in my life. And as the world opens back up again and we start going to shows, I start putting events on and a lot of the other things that I have planned. The people with the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass are going to find out about it first. So if you want one, go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie. And you can get a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. And I want to remind you of all the places you can find me on social, because I'm pretty much everywhere. Obviously, you guys have found me on Facebook. If you're watching Cocktails in the War Room after the fact on my YouTube channel, you've obviously found my YouTube, which is youtube.com/C/Mistress Carrie. Patreon, we talked about at Mistress Carrie. And then on Twitter, Instagram is Mistress Carrie WAF. Twitter is at Mistress Carrie. Cameos at Mistress Carrie. I did a couple cameo videos this week for people's birthdays, which are so much fun. I apologize that I sing because my singing voice is fucking terrible. But if you have an event that you want to commemorate, if it's someone's birthday, gender reveal, you want to thank someone for their service, someone celebrating a huge milestone in their life, a graduation of some kind, a new job, whatever it is, if you're looking for a special way to do that, I can make you custom videos for those people. And you can book those on cameo.com/Mistress Carrie. If you haven't used Cameo before, it's really fun. Big Poppy's on there. Alice Cooper's on there. There are a ton of musicians, athletes, actors, social media influencer. It doesn't matter. I mean, it runs the gamut of people, but you can have them make custom videos for you, basically of whatever you want them to say. And I love doing them. So if you are looking for a way to commemorate something, if you're looking for a gift for someone that has everything, a skydiving friend of mine got a video for his birthday from Gilbert Gottfried. And when you get these videos, you get the video. So then you can put it up on your Instagram. You can put it up on your Facebook. You can share it with your friends. And my friend got this video from Gilbert Gottfried, which was hilarious. And he put it up on Facebook and everybody was just laughing and spreading it around. And I love making these videos and I'll make them as crazy as you want. So if you want to have me make a cameo video for you, you can just go to cameo.com/Mistress Carrie and I will do that. I know I haven't put a TikTok video up yet, but my resolve is weakening. I can feel a TikTok video coming. And I know once I start making TikTok videos, I'm not going to stop unless, of course, the website gets taken down. But I do have a TikTok up there already, and it's at Mistress Carrie on TikTok. So you can find that there as well. So I highly recommend Carrie's Cameo, says Michael. Thank you very much. I made it for his badass daughter, and she's awesome, and she has really good taste in music. Let's see. FYI, Big Poppy's is $750. Just a heads up. Yeah, mine is not $750. It's way more affordable than that. Have you seen Gilbert Gottfried speaking the WAP song? I can't even imagine. I remember Gilbert Gottfried reading out of 50 Shades of Grey, and it haunted my soul and my dreams for months. If I get married, I will definitely go to you, Mistress Carrie. Thank you, Stephen. I would love to do someone's proposal. That would be amazing. Come on, TikTok awaits, says Kimberly. It's coming. I don't know how. There's a lot of pressure about what the first TikTok video should be. Maybe I should ask the people with the Mistress Carrie backstage pass. Maybe whatever they tell me to do, that's what I'll do first. I don't know. No TikTok, says Annette. Wednesday should have a TikTok. Don't get her head more swollen than it already is. Okay. Wednesday's got enough, to swell her head. Trust me, with her Instagram. Gilbert did one for my cousin's 40th, says Justin. I'm telling you, the cameo videos are so much fun. And you can make them as relaxed or risque or polite, or it just depends on who you're making the video for. But I love doing them. So if you guys are looking to give a gift to somebody or whatever, I will totally make those cameo videos for you. So there you go. Is there anything that I missed this week? Is there anything that we need to talk about? Once again, I want to thank Latini Creative Solutions at latinicreative.com and my friends at Jumptown Skydiving at jumptown.com for sponsoring this week's episode of Cocktails in the War Room and also this week's episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast that goes live at midnight featuring Evanescence, which I am so excited for you guys to hear. I think you're going to love it. TikTok one of your skydives. It's kind of hard to bring your mobile phone on a skydive. You have to bring a GoPro that's like bolted to your head or on your wrist or something, and then maybe turn it into a video after, but I would totally do that. It wouldn't be the first time. Mail call. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I almost forgot. Yes, I did get cool stuff. Oh my God. Thank you. Who reminded me of the mail call? Thank you very much. I did get some cool stuff with some really interesting snacks that I wanted to wait and try until I was in here with you guys. So I got this package today. Carrie, congrats on the marriage. Wishing you many years of happiness. Found some goodies that we thought you would like. We hope you enjoy, Lindsay and Mark. So thank you guys so much. And they use purple paper for the note, which I love. So they sent me this envelope of goodies. And this is all stuff that I have not tried yet. They sent me apple pie Kit Kats. Have you guys tried these yet? Because I'm going to bust this shit open right now because, well, I've been drinking limoncello for an hour. So you know how I get. Oh. This is a good time for my new family that I just married into to check out Cocktails in the War Room. This is a good time. When I start eating junk food with a buzz on the internet. It smells like apple pie. Oh, that's good. Apple pie Kit Kat. Mistress Carrie approved. And I'm not the biggest white chocolate fan on the planet, but it's not sicky sweet. There's a lot of cinnamon and crunch in there. That's good. Maybe it's because I have a buzz. I don't know. I'm currently operating the internet under the influence of alcohol, which is what we do here in the War Room. They also sent me a Wonder Woman Pez, which is like the new, not Linda Carter Wonder Woman, but I don't have this one. You guys are amazing. Thank you. It's hard to find ones I don't have because I have a ridiculous collection, which I should put a picture up so you guys can see all the ones that I have. I think when Stiz came over, he took a picture of my Pez collection. But so I got Wonder Woman for the Pez collection, which is awesome. And then they also sent me, and I got to admit I'm a little scared about this. They sent me Orange Cream Pop Twizzlers. Now, you guys know how much of a purist I am when it comes to Twizzlers. IWI, internet while intoxicated, says Eric. I'm a little bit afraid. And, oh, really? Somebody heard a rapper and then showed up for the junk food late in the episode Wednesday. Don't even think about touching that Kit Kat. No. Come over here. No. You can't have the no, come over here. There you go. Sit down. Twizzlers are safe. Hold on. Okay. You guys know that I am a purist when it comes to Twizzlers. But these are really fucking good. I'm almost embarrassed to say that I like them. Because I love the original Twizzlers so much. But I love creamsicles, and you guys know that. Hey, Wednesday, if you come over here and sit down, I will give you a piece. A very small piece. Let me see if I can get her to do some of her tricks. A very little piece, Wednesday. Sit down. Sit. Can I have your paw? No. Paw. Can I have the other one? Sit. No, I want the other one. No, I want the other one. No, I want that one. Thank you. Down, down, down. Good girl. Sit. No, high five. Sit. Other high five. No, I want the other one. Other one. No, not that one. I want the, no. Wednesday. I want that one. Thank you. I don't know if she likes it. Do you like it? You can have a very little piece. Now I'm probably going to get yelled at for giving her a piece of the Twizzlers. But these, she likes it. Look at her. Look at her just sitting there. You can't have these. I can't have any more. You're already going to be off the walls. Guys, creamsicle Twizzlers. I never would have tried them, but they're fucking delicious. Twizzlers don't melt. No. Damn, I want a Twizzler now. Just give me sugar. Wow, I'm a fan of the OG Twizzlers too, but I may have to try those if you don't hate it. Victoria, I don't hate them. They're kind of good. And it's weird because I got to show you. There's like orange Twizzlers, but then there's cream inside. They're good. They're gummier than the regular Twizzlers. I'm going to be bouncing off the fucking walls tonight because of you guys. You keep sending me junk food, but they're really good. Where do we get the Kit Kats? Annette wants to know. I don't know. I got them in the mail call. I don't know where they found them. It just said, we found some goodies that we thought you'd like. We hope you enjoy. So Lindsay and Mark, I don't know where you guys found those Kit Kats or where you found those Twizzlers, but if you guys are here, put it in the comments so that everybody can try them out. I'm going to try them too. Now I'm curious, says Tracy. Let's see. Walmart, says Michelle. Dang it, I hate that place, says Annette. I got that Kit Kat at Walmart. You might be able to find them at the Circle K too. Thank you. I'm stuck in my teeth. All right. I'm going to have one more drink with you guys and then we got to go. Because Wednesday's probably going to need to go outside and run 17 laps around the yard because I just gave her a little piece of that Twizzler. Hollow Point Twizzlers, says Mickey. Check CVS, says Keith. It's the devil, says Renee. Yeah, I know. Wednesday's just sitting here. She's sitting on the opposite side of the couch of the PUG CAM, so I can't show you. But she's sitting there just eye fucking the Kit Kat and eye fucking the Twizzler right now. So there you go. Apple Kit Kat. I am going to try that flavor at Walmart or Target. That sounds wrong. I know. Limoncello Kit Kats. Now that is something I could get behind. 100%. Brianna, you're right. She is going to get the Zoomies for sure. I bought the Twizzlers just for tonight. See? Exactly, Marcy. You know what I like. Limoncello, greatest Italian after dinner drink. Yeah, I totally agree. But it's got to be out of the freezer cold, which is why I was craving it tonight because I was kind of warm and I was like, oh, I just want some limoncello. And it's delicious. Although it's not as cold as it was when we came in here an hour and 15 minutes ago. You should drink to The Rock and his recovery. Wait, what happened to The Rock? Seriously, what happened? Oh, because he's got coronavirus. I was like, wait, something else happened to The Rock? Yeah, the Rock and his whole family got diagnosed with the coronavirus, which is crazy. There's also a book that's coming out, not that I stalked The Rock or anything, but his official photographer came out with a book basically documenting The Rock's whole life. So if you love The Rock as much as I do, there's a lot of great pictures in there. Keanu Reeves needs to have one of those books written about him so that we can look at all of the pictures of his life as well. Limoncello Twizzlers as straws. Yes. Okay. So you guys know everything pretty much right now. We won't get together. I will put up a reminder on Facebook next Tuesday, reminding you guys about the War Room next Wednesday. I'm probably going to be a crying, pathetic mess, but I will remind you guys. And I really hope you love the Evanescence episode of the podcast, which goes live tonight at midnight. If you have friends that are Evanescence fans, people that you've gone to see the band with before when we were allowed to go to concerts, share this episode with them. And then obviously next week is another deeply personal episode for me, which is episode 15, which is the AAF to Afghanistan recap episode with producer Mike, who was there with me. I can't believe 9 years ago, right now, we were in Afghanistan, which is just crazy. So we talk a lot about some of the blogs that I wrote. We talk about blueberry cobbler, obviously. And check this out. Mike sent me this. Wednesday, get down. She's on the coffee table. Can you read that? There we go. He sent me a blueberry cobbler candle from a candle company that funds veterans organizations, which is amazing. So Wednesday, get down. She's literally climbing on the coffee table, trying to get to the Twizzlers and the Kit Kat. It smells like blueberry cobbler. You want to smell? Wednesday doesn't like blueberry cobbler at all. Come here. Come on, I'll turn the PUG CAM on one more time. Watch this. Watch. Want to smell it? Smell the candle. She wants nothing to do with it. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Yes, it is an awesome gift. I totally, and it's the perfect candle. The scent of the war room should be blueberry cobbler. So that's where this candle is going to stay, which I just love the fact that he was able to hunt down. It is from the Beaver Mountain Candle Company. And it says the purchase of this candle includes a donation to a veterans charity. So that's pretty amazing. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Oh, Wednesday's back. Say hi, Wednesday. Go this way so they can see you. Come here. Here, you want your purple thing? There you go. There you go. Oh, don't step on the keyboard. It runs the whole show. I teach till 9:45 Wednesday. Love, love, love. Well, there you go. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Keep in touch on social media. Get yourself a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. You can find me there as well. And thank you guys for hanging out with me on a limoncello night. Cheers to you guys. I love you. I'll see you next week. Enjoy the podcast episode. Wednesday. Say bye. Say goodnight. Say goodnight, everybody. And thank you for sending me all the toys. Here we go. Here come the Zoomies. Say goodnight, Wednesday. Good night, Wednesday.